Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Johnno, man, and I'm back with another one. You feel me? So today we got Tooka's mom reflects on witnessing a kid threatening Tooka at a bus stop. Now, with this video, I done seen that it's like this. The part one, I ain't watched the part one yet because the part one usually is just like the intro to shit. I don't ever watch part ones or interviews because they ain't talking about shit. Well, at least on Say Cheese, I don't watch the part one because that should be like a minute and some seconds, so there ain't no need. But it's like, you know, I'm finna watch a couple of these videos because some of the titles is like, some nice ass. I don't know if they clickbait, and I doubt they clickbait because folks really be talking about their shit. But we finna go ahead and watch a couple of these bitches, see what they talking about, and I'm gonna, reflect, give my honest opinion about certain shit. You feel me? So
Take us back to, I'm gonna say 2010. Tuka at this time, he's in school. Take us through them days. How was Tuka at that time?
Uh, I could take you back to when we first moved around on St. Lawrence, where they named the block and the gang after him. Like, when we first moved over there, it was, it wasn't all peaches and cream. Uh, he would walk to school to get on the bus. I would walk him to school, well, to the bus stop.
Every day?
Yes, before I go to work, because my bus base was right around the corner from the house, so I made sure him and his little sister got on the bus, and I go my way and go on to work. And I remember one day we standing on the bus stop, and the little boy inside the parkway was standing behind the gate talking smack to my son. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, first of all, you have no respect for me standing here as his mother. Why you talking about what you gonna do to him and stuff like that?
So wait, not to cut you off. You were there when you seen this?
Yeah. When the boy approached him, yes.
and that's part of you feel me. Like these young niggas out here nowadays so disrespectful, for that shit is wild. Like you feel me, like just like how young niggas operate nowadays. Like, cause like a lot of motherfuckers think this gang banging and killing and drilling and shooting and killing all that shit. They think this shit cool, bro. You feel me? Especially a lot of niggas that's like on the outside that don't live in Chicago that just be looking for this shit for entertainment, bro. Like, y'all realize that it's really people out here dying, bro. Like, and being in Chicago, folks, murder is like not some shit that surprises you, folks. You feel me? Like you hear about a motherfucker dying, you be like, that's not even surprising no more, folks. Like it should be like rare that you hear about murders, folks. Like no, bro. Like if you in Chicago or not in Chicago, folks, and you follow Spot News, folks, just go on there and look at how many people get shot. Look, bro, as I'm speaking, G. Can y'all read that? Let me see. It ain't gonna focus. I don't think it's gonna focus. But if you can read it a little bit, 35th and Western person shot. You feel me? And that's right now, bro. Like that just happened. G. Like that shit. This shit is bigger than entertainment, bro. Like niggas really out here dying,
So I
losing
was
their
at the
life.
bus stop with my son. Like, I was a pretty much hands-on no matter my job. I was a pretty much hands-on mom with my kids. Cause like I said, I was a single mother and I was all they had besides my grandmother.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Can you take us through that day when the kid approached your son and what exactly he said?
Oh, he say, you coming from over there, at St. Lawrence Way, you must be one of them niggas, that and the third. We just moving around here. We don't know nothing about what's around there. You know what I'm saying?
And for people that are not familiar with that area, how it's so easy to know a motherfucker, you feel me? So like when you looking at Parkway Gardens, you gotta think like it's kind of like, how can I put it? Like for motherfucker that I understand, it's like a gated community, but it's not a good place to be. You feel me? Like it's gated, but it's in the hood though. You feel me? So it's like motherfuckers behind this gate. You feel me? And when you in this gate, basically, it's like everybody from that area you kind of know because you see these motherfuckers every day type shit. You feel me? Like, you know, it's not hard to know the motherfuckers that's around that type shit. So, and then it's like, okay, so King Drive, right there where Parkway Gardens at. It's like the next block down. Is that 63rd and King Drive, 64th and King Drive? I think that's 63rd and King Drive. The next block, like if you going northbound, it'd be 63rd. So, like right there, it's just like a big ass set of apartment buildings in this gate. Then the next block down is apartments all down that block, right? Now, alright, so O Block right here, right? STL right here. And there's nothing in between them, folks. It ain't no houses right there for real or nothing. It's just like stores and shit. So if a motherfucker coming from that way, you kind of know like they coming from that way. You feel me? It ain't like no way that you can be coming from no other neighborhood or no other like type of blocks coming towards King Drive. You feel me? So that's how a motherfucker can kind of like pinpoint, like point that shit out.
That's
so
what
easy.
made me want to walk them to school because I wanted them to be safe. I always walked them to school and stuff, even when they was little kids. And I'm just standing there looking at the little boy, and Tookas telling him like, man, you not finna keep cursing and stuff like that in front of my mama. Nigga, I'll knock you out in front of your mama. Who out the lane? Talked to Tookas, calmed him down, the bus was coming. I put him on the bus. He went on to school. On the way home from school, I couldn't get to the bus stop in time because one of my kids' parents wasn't at home. So I didn't get off of work at my usual time. And I just remember my daughter just running down the street. She was so snotty. She was about 8, 9. And she just was red as ever, and she just was crying, they jumping on my brother. I can't help them, they jumping on my brother. I'm like, I had to run all the way, to help my son. All because he wanted to go to school and get an education. They thought he was coming from somewhere he didn't even know about. Then when he walked from King Drive to over there, then they thinking he coming from O Block. Like, it was just crazy. It was just crazy, but I stayed on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I
And she definitely sound like a mom that's like, you know, really cared about her kid type shit. You feel me? Really didn't want them out there in the streets. But, you know, it's a lot of the opposite out there. You feel me? Like these parents be knowing that they son out here 14, 15 years old with a gun, getting in the street shit, shooting at motherfuckers, woo out the bam and all that shit like that. And then they get on the news, be talking about, you know, like he was going to school and all of this, that, and the third. Like you knew, bro. Like if you really cared about him, bro, you would have made sure that he wasn't doing the shit that he was doing. Even though I can kind of sympathize because it's like at the same time, like a situation like Tooka, you feel me? Motherfucker steady trying you and shit, and you know that this shit can escalate at any time, folks. And you don't have no gun, you feel me? It's gonna be one of those, you feel me? And you know, shit. Young nigga met his demise at a young age. You feel me? Rest in peace to folks, dog.
felt like things getting too out of hand. Um, his his wrestling coach was a good friend of mine. We went to school and we graduated together. And he came to me. He said, "I see something in him. Let me work with him." You know what I'm saying? So he had people, you know what I'm saying, that steered him in the right direction even when he wanted to go wrong. You see what I'm saying? So uh, when he got kicked out of school, by me working for CPS, I had connects because one thing I was always taught, you can't make it in this world without no education.
That's right.
So I was real strict on my kids getting their education. So when he got kicked out of school, I went to my, connect that I had or whatever. They helped me get him back in school. In the process of him getting kicked out of school, we had heard about this program called A Knock at Midnight with Minister Banks and Mr. Doty. And they was like some strong men.
Man, you can hear it in her voice, like chopping up, like just talking about it, like she getting emotional and this shit.
And they helped my son see what was wrong with the path he was trying to go down, let him know, like, man, look, you supposed to be here by yourself, but your mama brought her, your brother, and your sister in here, to do this with you. So once he seen that, we was all together, it was like, he didn't want to, he just wanted to do right to make me proud, that's all.
Right.
What's this one? Minute 47. All right, we gonna watch this last one. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video.
Do you think your son was gang related?
Was he gang related? No. No.
You don't think Tooka wasn't in the gang?
No.
So you don't think there were things he was participating in that you didn't know about?
Now, when I see how big his death is, it makes me wonder, what was he really doing out here? You know what I'm saying? But I knew what went on in my household. I knew what went on in his friend's household. You see what I'm saying? I was one of them parents, if my child in their home at a certain time and I know where they at, I'm going to get my child up out that house. I done knocked on plenty of the doors. I done walked down plenty of soles of my shoes walking these streets for my kids. I never, ever been one of them ones that played about no game at all when it came to my kids, because I did enough of that for them. So I'd be darned if I let my kids get out of these streets to go, you know what I'm saying? But again, when I was out there in these streets, we had structure.
And to say about a part about that is that, like, my peoples was on my ass about that shit. You feel me? That really don't mean nothing, bro. Because, like, at a certain time, you feel me, it's like, you need friends, you feel me? You need, certain, people behind you because, certain shit that you're going through, you feel me? Like, I gotta think about the place that he at for, like, he on STL, so they into, like, you gotta think about how many people done died between them, you feel me? Like, starting with him, for him, like, him being, like, one of the first deaths, I think OD died before him, but I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna quote that, don't quote me on that, but it's between them two, like, them, like, the first two, like, major deaths, like, Tooka and OD Perry. Is it Perry? Well, OD, I'm gonna just say OD because I don't know his full name for sure, but, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was rules to how we did things back in the days. These kids, they don't got no structure.
And what she talking about is, like, the 80s and shit, the 90s before, like, everybody got locked up. Like, there's certain shit that you couldn't do then. Like, you couldn't just walk around just killing people. Like, you had to get permission. Like, somebody had to actually do something to you or something to your family or somebody you cared about, loved or whatever, in order for you to get permission to go do some shit like that. Like now it's just you got a gun, you got hours. Every time you see them niggas, go shoot 'em. You feel me? That's fucked up.
They don't got no remorse for nothing they do. Back in the days, it was women and kids was off guard. If they was gonna go do something, hey, y'all go in the house, we finna do off the whim. These days, it's innocent babies, elder people who ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Like, it's just different.
And like on that note, folks, like that shit really crazy because you gotta think about how many innocent people do die in Chicago, like just from motherfuckers shooting and shit. Like a motherfucker sitting in a crib or laying in the crib and straight bullets coming through the walls, windows, hitting them. You feel me? But anyway, man, that's the end of the video. Feel me? If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You feel me? Y'all niggas be smooth, man.